Well, good evening once again. Good evening once again. It's another Tuesday, and welcome to your Tuesday videocast. My name is David Etienne of Etienne Business Solutions. We're a certified public accounting practice, and so I welcome you to another Tuesday version episode, which is really our videocast. Okay, and I invite you to also always never fail to check on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, Etienne's Place, is where you'll find all these presentations and videos that we do. They are sitting right there on my YouTube channel, Etienne's Place, and there's a long list of other videos that I invite you to check out, like, subscribe, share, and my favorite phrase, be informed, be empowered. Great. Now, we have survived, meaning the tax season is officially over. Okay? That ended on April 18th, so officially over. The truth be told, we still have quite a bit of tax returns still in process, still in progress. You know, individuals are still submitting their documents, but that deadline by IRS stipulation of April 18th is behind us. During the tax season, more so than at other time of year, I tend to get a number of calls from either existing clients or prospective clients, and those calls are frantic calls because they are related to debts owed to the federal government, tax debts owed. And in most instances, they are not debts related to just the last tax season, which would be like 2021 tax year. Quite often they are debts dating way back 3, 4, 5, 6 years. All right? And what you find is that these individuals would have been receiving notices, correspondence, etc. over a period of time, and for one reason or the next decide, okay, I'm not paying any attention to these correspondence, I'm not taking any action, and so the passing of time, things get more and more critical. So when they come by in, very, very, very worried, frantically seeking a solution, that is usually the time when they are way down the road. So let's back up a bit here. Yes, it is true. Nobody likes to receive an IRS love letter. That's what I call it, okay? No one likes to receive an IRS love letter. Usually, once you go to the mail, you get a letter from the IRS, right away your antennas are up and you're starting to worry. What I want to spend this session and maybe one or two other sessions on is looking at IRS correspondence, okay? And also, of course, the collection process. It is important that as taxpayers, if you find yourself in that situation where you have federal tax debt, it also applies to state, but we're just talking about the federal tax debts right here now. It is important and very helpful and a stress reliever if you understand the nature of the correspondence, what they mean, and also at what point or stage in the process you currently abide. So the minute you get a letter from the IRS, it does not spell doom and gloom. Oh my goodness, they're going to take away my house. Oh my Lord, they're going to take away all little money from my bank account. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? The IRS is what I call a rules-based, forms-based entity. Everything about the IRS have a specific or specified procedure. Okay? There's a process. And so you are advised to understand, to an extent, this process. And the process also relates to the issuing of correspondence. What you would have observed if I've been getting love letters from the IRS, is that most of these correspondence at the top right hand corner of that letter, IRS letter, you usually find a form number. A form number, some fancy number, CP, this CP, that, all kind of, but they are numbers. And they mean something. They represent a particular step in the collection process. So going back to the IRS process, you find that there are steps and there are stages. Steps and stages. So being aware of what a correspondence mean, or at what stage in the process a particular correspondence will be issued, will inform you as to how quickly you need to act or how much time you may still have. Now, mark you, I'm in no way saying that you should learn about the process so that when you recognize that, okay, I still have some time to act, that you should then just sit back and say, okay, put down that letter, I'll deal with it at some other time. No. So, because to do that would be to really box yourself into a corner. Because as the day tick by, you're moving along with time, and so you're getting more and more into the threatening stages of the process. Let's start at the beginning. Once you have a tax debt, and that tax debt will be assessed in one of two ways. It's either one, you file your tax returns, it shows that you owe some money. So when it goes into the IRS system will generate a letter of correspondence, send out to you to say you have a bill of $2,000. Because that's really what is reflected on your tax returns. On the other hand, it may be because the IRS, for one reason or the next, decide to do a review on either current year tax returns or prior year tax returns. They may decide to do a review, and having done that review, they may decide, okay, we're going back to 2 years, 3 years back, and we see some things that you treated as deductions, some credits from which you benefited, and on reviewing those things, we are deciding to disallow. As a result of disallowing A, B, or C, then you now have a tax debt. So either way, you can cope with a tax debt. So the minute you have a tax debt, the IRS will communicate with you to say, hey, you owe $2,000. $2,000. That is the first correspondence that the IRS sends to a taxpayer, and the form name or the correspondent code, whatever you want to call it, is labeled CP14. CP14. Okay? So as I said, if you look at that IRS letter, to the upper right hand corner, you're going to see a lot of information, sometimes a number, contact person, sometimes, but you will see a form number. CP14 is that first correspondence that you'll receive to say, you Mr. Sir, you Miss Lady, you owe me, that's the IRS, X dollars. If you know you had filed a tax returns and it really had showed that you owe that amount of money, then hey, yeah, you go ahead, pay it right up front, right away, or if you cannot pay it right away, you call the IRS, you make some arrangements to pay over time. So you go on an installment plan, like any other installment plan, okay? However, which quite often is the case, if you decide that you're just not going to take any action, you're not going to pay this bill right away, and usually it gives you a time by which to pay. So you've decided, I'm not paying the bill right now, and I'm not calling to make a payment arrangement. And so usually when the IRS communicate with you, usually you have a 30-day turnaround to act, to respond. So if you're going to be paying, usually you'll give up to 30 days to settle that thing. And the figure quoted in that correspondence will hold firm. After that 30 days, naturally, it will go through a cycle of recalculating. So you find interest and penalties, whatever, will be recalculated, and so that figure may increase. But normally, your 30-day run is there. So if you decide that I am paying no attention to that CP14, which is my first communication from the IRS to say I owe a certain sum of money, then, and the 30 days has passed, then you are likely to get another correspondence, a follow-up correspondence, okay? A follow-up correspondence to the CP14. Now, this CP14 is expecting you to respond one way or the other within, say, 30 days. You decide, I'm not responding. Put it aside. All right? Put it aside. So that balance that is due on that CP, that balance, I'm sorry, my phone, let's get rid of this. Yeah. The balance that is due on that CP14 possibly was just the tax owed. And if you had taken action to pay that bill on receiving the CP14, that's all you would pay. If you ignore the CP14 and it goes through the 30-day cycle, then what do you expect? Yeah, interest is going to be added, penalties likely to be added, and so you're going to find out the number, the amount increases. So once you did not respond to CP14 within about 5 weeks from the issue of the CP14, and remember that 5 weeks would take in that first 30 days that you were given in which to respond, and if nothing came from you, then the IRS is going to say, okay, let me send a reminder to my first letter. That reminder is what we call a CP501. CP501. Someone asked me some time back, what's the rationale behind the numbering system? You know, CP23, CP501. Why that is so arbitrary sounding? My response is, I don't know. I never stopped to think about it. You know what I'm saying? But of course, there's a method to the madness, so to speak. But anyhow, the second notice is your CP501. That CP501 is issued approximately 5 weeks after that first CP14. You get that notice, and it's labeled again, upper right hand corner, CP501. Now, if you had received a CP14 and you put it aside, then on receiving a CP501, you must realize that, okay, the IRS is saying, oh, by the way, you did not pay any attention to my first notice, so I'm giving you a courtesy reminder via the CP501 that you had not taken action on my first notice. Okay? Now, that CP501 also inform you, the taxpayer that is owing some money, that if the amount is not paid in full, then the IRS can, not that it will, but the IRS can issue a notice of federal tax lien. And interest naturally will continue to accrue, and also, as I said earlier on, even penalties may apply. Notice the language, people. The CP501, in addition to being a reminder to the first notice, will also advise the taxpayer, that is you or me, that the amount, if not paid in full, then the IRS can. Very important. It is not yet at that stage where it's going to do it. It's just saying, the IRS can at this point issue a notice of federal tax lien. And as I said, interest and penalty will be there. So, first notice went, CP14, no action. Reminder come through, CP501, with a little more threatening language, so to speak. Let's just say that you just feel that, okay, you know, you're just bad. I mean, I say, you're bad, and so, hey, you know, still not paying any attention to that one. Put it aside. All right, IRS is saying, well, since I'm a rules-based entity, I'm not going to just jump and act arbitrarily. I'm going to go through the process. So the IRS knows that after CP14 went, followed up by CP501, still no response, I need to go to the third correspondence. And that third correspondence would then be my CP503. Notice, CP503. Okay? Now the CP503 is another reminder that the balance is due and that the taxpayer has not paid the amount or has not responded. So the language would sound something like, we had sent you previous notices and we noticed that you have not paid the amount indicated on the letter, and also you have not responded in any way to us or to our letter. Read between the lines. It is saying that, okay, I'm aware that you are ignoring me. I'm aware that I am not on your priority list. I'm aware that the money that you owe me, you more than likely put it way down in terms of the priority lineup. So the language is important. Still nothing for you to start to pull out your hair about. Well, yeah, pull out your hair about, but the language gets a little more piercing. CP 14 followed by CP 501 followed by CP 503. Now there are times when a taxpayer may, make some payment against that tax debt, but he or she has not paid the full balance owed, but you have made some payment against the tax debt, right? Now, if you have paid some money or if you have made no payment, either way, you still owe the IRS some tax money, okay? Some tax money. So what will happen now is that the IRS will say, okay, we need to step up our game. So the next thing that you see coming your way is a CP 504. CP 504. Now, what is CP 504 saying that all the previous correspondence did not say? And is it a case that the language of CP 504 is something that, although I was ignoring all the earlier ones, I now need to sit up and pay attention? Let us look at what CP 504 is all about. CP 504 is a certified mail. It is still a reminder, It is still a reminder. But it is a certified mail. And you and I know. There's a significant difference in importance, significance, and emphasis between just dropping a letter into a mailbox as opposed to say, I want to send this correspondence as certified mail. You, the sender, is saying, you know what? I want to ensure that this document goes into the hands of the person to which it is intended. I want to have evidence that this person received it, because I'm about to take some action and I don't want to hear that, no, I never did receive anything. Okay, we agree. Maybe the first one, CP 14, went astray. Maybe the CP 501 went astray. Maybe the CP 503 went astray. So we say, okay, you know what? Let us send a CP 504, which is certified mail, saying the same thing. Potential to levy, potential to do that, but we're ensuring that you have received it. That's your CP 504. And the CP 504 again states that the IRS can, still using language, can issue a levy against your property. At the same time, let us say that you were in a position to receive a state refund, tax refund. The IRS can also levy that state tax refund by, basically intercepting it, taking it, and applying it to the federal tax that is owed. Now, as I said before, it is also reminding you that the IRS can file a federal tax lien against your property. And sometime by the time you receive CP 504, this lien has already been filed sometime. And the language is always, they're doing this to protect the interest of the government. That's a line that is standard in IRS communication, whether by sometime in writing, sometime when you speak to an agent, you hear, we are acting in the best interest of the federal government. And basically to issue a tax lien is one such thing, trying to protect the interest of the federal government. Okay. Note that the CP 504 can also or will also remind you, the taxpayer, also remind you that you could be subject to enforcement action. If you notice the language, can, could be, not saying it is or it will be. Can, could be. Word to the wise. Word to the wise. Okay? Dropping the words for you to read between the lines and realize that you're really treading now on shaky ground. Because you see, by ignoring these correspondence, you're basically marching on in the IRS timeline, and so you're approaching, where you're departing from the safer zones, and you're now approaching that era where it can get very ugly. Now, going back to where I started, most of the individuals who come to me, all out of it, they are usually coming to me at a CP 504 stage. Yeah, they get this certified mail. They have ignored all the previous mails, and now there is certified mail, and they recognize that a certified letter from the IRS, this is serious. David, what are we going to do about this? All right, that's your CP 504. If even after CP 504, there's still no response or payment from you, because you see, you might be, your heart might be like Pharaoh. I don't know if your Bible student, but like Pharaoh, no matter what, your heart just tough. Get me? When you get a little frightened and a little perturbed, you say, oh my goodness, I need to do something. But as soon as you calm down, you go back to your old ways. You get hard and say, okay, man, I ain't paying that any mind. So if you then decide, I'm still not paying any attention whatsoever up to CP 504, then hey, what can poor Mr. IRS do but send you another love letter? Now, of course, the language now will get a little more unsettling, huh? Yeah, the language is a little unsettling. It's just like, if you write a letter to maybe your favorite girl or your favorite guy, and you whatever, and you ask about something. If you're being ignored and nobody's responding to what you're asking about or requesting, then naturally your later letters are going to get very crass and very sarcastic and very mean and ugly, because you're getting annoyed now, huh? You're getting annoyed. And here we are. So you ignore up to 504, so the IRS writes you again, and the letter that it issues here now is called LT11. LT11, or to keep in the CP family, there's a CP90. Okay? CP90 is what is going to be sent to you. Okay. That CP90, the language, and I'm going to look and read the language as I see it here. That CP90 have a particular language. Listen to the language. And I'm just really paraphrasing, really, not quoting verbatim. It is a notice. Okay? It is a notice of intent. Intent to levy. Intent. If you notice, the earlier correspondence say, we can. Making you know that we have the power too. Now, this CP90 is saying, we intend to levy. We still have not yet done it. But we have reached the point now where, hey, maybe that's the only course of action that's left open to us. So the letter is saying, we intend to levy, and you have a right to a hearing. What they're saying is, we're not about to take action. We intend to levy, but of course, you have a right. We have to give you that right to do what you want. In other words, if you want to be heard, to be seen, to come and sit and talk, then we cannot deny you that. Although you ignore all the prior letters, the IRS will still have to accommodate you if you request a hearing. I need to meet with an agent, and well, I should add, at the CP90 stage, quite often you will see on the letter a contact name, contact number, contact person. So right now, it is saying to me that my tax matter is not just in the General Assembly anymore. It is getting special attention now because it is assigned to an agent. Because when I look at that letter, I'm seeing contact person Elizabeth Brown, number so, and I'm saying, okay, then it has been given to an agent for that agent to deal with it directly, specifically, and not just another tax return owing some money in the general population. It is getting serious. It is getting serious. So the language is saying this is a notice of intent to levy, and you have a right to a hearing. At that point, the IRS is ready. All it is saying to you, you have a right to a hearing. So if you wish to have that hearing, please let us know. Please communicate with us. Because at this point, we are ready to attach a levy to your wages or to your bank account. That's where we are. No, that's where the IRS is. Okay? Your wages, your bank account are in potential jeopardy. That's where it has boiled down to right now. So I will stop there for this evening, because remember now what we're looking at is really understanding the different correspondence as they relate to the whole collection process. Being aware that it's not a case where you're going to get up the first letter you receive from the IRS, they come to break down your door, so there's no need to panic and freak out. But it's important for you to understand the process. Just knowing where you are in the process will inform you as to what actions you need to take and what options are open to you. Okay? Cool. So that's it for this evening. Next Tuesday, we'll pick up from here and look at how the communication progresses. And by now, you see where it's heading, huh? Yeah, you see where it's heading. It is heading somewhere quite dark and ugly. All right? So that's where we are. We'll pick up on the rest of forms and correspondence come next week. And once we're through with that, then we'll actually go into the actual collection process, meaning that having exhausted all communication, all correspondence, having covered all steps in the process, and if that matter comes out to the point where we have to enforce, the IRS has to enforce, then we'll look at the different enforcement methods, which is what we call the collection process in the true sense of the word. And we'll also look at what are the options open to a taxpayer. Because you notice, you see, this is very interesting. Although you would have ignored all those prior correspondence and advice and notices, causing you to reach to the place where you have to be facing with potential levy and garnishment, etc., etc., it's interesting to know that even at this point, there's still a number of options still open to you, which of course we'll touch on. So it's as if, well, although you have transgressed all along, there's still some amount of salvation still open that the IRS is still willing to sit and say, okay, let me hear your case. And you say, boy, so and so is the case. I will listen to you, and based on what I hear and how satisfied I am with that explanation, then these are the different options that the IRS have that I can extend to you. And of course they have qualifiers, and so once you can qualify for A, B, or C, then these are some options that you may wish to consider as you go forward. Okay, great. That's it for this evening, people. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and as usual, I remind you, check out my YouTube channel, Etienne's Place. Etienne's Place, we have a ton load of videos. As a matter of fact, I think it's this area I'm looking at here. I done a video years back on it, and you will find it there. I think it's called Humor in Taxes. I labeled the video Humor in Taxes. You may wish to check it out. Same subject matter basically, but just put a little, humorous twist to it. And the humor that I introduced in that video is a true reflection of how the whole interaction between myself and clients unfold. when they come with their letters and they're panicking and it's like the world is coming to an end, and I'm looking, I'm saying, come on now, you knew this was happening all along. Now you're coming to get all crazy and you know. So I kind of thought it was, no disrespect, I just thought it was the interaction was a little humorous at times. And so I kind of, so check out the video. It's called Humor in Taxes. It's on Etienne's place. But check out all the other videos. Subscribe, like, share. And you need to subscribe, because once we are jumping on at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday as today, then once you're subscribed, then you will be informed and you can jump on and be informed, right? And share everything that we have here. Just share it with your friends, share it with co-workers. You know, it's free information. It's free information. I just want you guys to just take the thing, understand the thing, and be empowered so that you can deal with the thing, so to speak. Okay. All right, guys. That's it for today. I'll catch you next Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m., same place, Etienne's place. David Etienne saying bye for now.